and found that this is completely untrue. Here's our proof that shows this, and we will actually, you can actually send a letter from your attorney saying, I want that removed. And about 30, I would love to say it's more, but about 30% of the time they'll remove it, and then 70% of the time they'll just ignore you. So now you're still left with a damaged reputation that probably wasn't your fault, and or maybe only partially your fault. Is there anything in the whole insurance world that somebody could do to protect themselves in a situation like that?
That's a perfect example of a risk that you can't buy an insurance policy for.
That's so unfortunate.
That is a perfect example of what we're talking about when you manage risk, okay? People think about the building burning down, and when the building burns down, they're going to be, if they don't have insurance, they're out of business. But as you mentioned, if their reputation is destroyed in the marketplace, now there's been no fire, but they're still out of business. And that's what we're talking about when we talk about managed risk. And it can even go a little bit step further from what you're saying, because when we take a business to the insurance marketplace to get the rates and the premiums, and we want to be competitive on these areas, often the insurance underwriter will look at the different areas, including your website and other things, to see, is this a risk we want to insure? And often people will have stuff on their website, or like you mentioned, in other areas of some of these social media spots that affect them, and it affects their premium. It's a perfect example. Thank you.
You bet. And Sitkins kind of educates on that, correct? For you, it isn't, you just don't say, here's the policy, here's the cheapest policy. That you educate them on how, as they go through those ratings, like you're saying, that they can take some proactive steps. So again, that's part of why LeBaron and Carroll Insurance and Social Universe, you just kind of getting to know what marketing is today. Things are changing, things are veering out of control in some ways, and getting into your control in other ways, and just kind of staying on top of what those things are. We have about 1 minute. We're going to introduce an idea that we're going to explore a little bit further with Don when we come back from break. Could you present the basic idea that you talked about in the last meeting that I saw you at?
Well, there's another risk that's coming out there that's becoming more and more of an issue, and that has to deal with what we call a data breach, okay? Especially since data inside of insurance, any kind of business, may be stored in a variety of different ways. It falls on your laptop. It may be stored, in a file in a filing cabinet. It may be stored in a thumb drive. Okay, and this data holds what we call personal identifiable information that is by law to be protected by you. And if a person is negligent with that information, and the data thieves out there, they could get a hold of this. They get a hold of that information. They actually sell that on the black market, and sometimes as much as $500 per record they can sell out there. And then of course people buy these records to use for whether they're stealing a person's identity or using their credit card for false purchases and those type of things. And when a business is negligent and this information is lost or stolen, or from their possession, however it happens, then not only are they subject to liability of the people, personal information that the people that lost that information. There's a huge reputation issue where when people can talk about the fact that my stuff was stolen at that business. But then you also have, if we have to go, we can go. We come
Let's
back to
take a break and go to commercial, and we're going to pick up where we left off, so that it's a good teaser. That we're going to explore that further about if this applies to you, and we look forward to talking to you after the break.